Buenos dias, y'all. RGT85 here. Hope everyone's having a great day. But of course, we've got some video game news to talk about. A couple stories going on that I definitely want to cover. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like and share the video, all that stuff. Shout outs to you guys. The channel's been blowing up lately. Let's keep that momentum going. But without any further ado, let's talk about what's going on in the world of video games. And we're going to start things off with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, because honestly, this is a game I've been really looking forward to coming out in 2022. It definitely looks like the old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games, you know, games like Turtles in Time or the original Turtles arcade game, the games that a lot of us grew up playing that are now just crusty old men, but we're like, yo, we still love the Turtles, man, because I don't know, we never grew up. But this was a game that a lot of people expected to be at the Nintendo Direct that happened this week. But of course, that came and went and there was no Turtles. So a lot of people were wondering what the status of this game was. Well, PlayStation held like a weird sort of indie thing on Twitter the other day, and this game was actually one of the games that was there. And there was some new information because Master Splinter is now going to be a playable character in this game. So I think that's really cool. They also had like a new accompanying trailer that I've been playing for you guys, so you can sort of see how this game is going to work. I mean, it's pretty obvious how this game is sort of going to play, but I'm super looking forward to this game. I hope they just pad the roster with a bunch of other people too. Like, you know, we need Casey Jones. Like, just put Casey Jones in the game. You know, I don't know which sort of Casey Jones they'll use as far as the design of the character is concerned, but, you know, put him in there. You know, there's a lot of different characters you could pull from within the universe. I'm sure there will be hidden unlockable characters, maybe when you beat the game or stuff like that. I'm just really looking forward to this game. I think everything we've seen from it just looks absolutely fantastic. We still don't have a release date for the game yet, which, I don't know, that's kind of weird. Like, I feel like it's February, you know, you can talk about the release date of this game. I'm going to take a guess and say late spring, early summer is when we're going to see this, because it looks rather complete. But yeah, I love the way this game looks. I cannot wait to play this game. Who is your favorite Ninja Turtle, though? Sound off in the comments below. Next up, obviously, there is a lot of stuff to digest with the recent Nintendo Direct. There's some stuff that I definitely want to further elaborate on. We're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch Online stuff on Saturday, because I got to catch a little egg on my face with that. But hey, you know what? I'd rather be wrong about something than be completely right and the service just continue to suck. So while we'll talk about that more in depth tomorrow on the channel, today I want to talk about something that a lot of people are starting to say, and that involves one of the pieces of DLC that we learned about during the Nintendo Direct itself, and that deals with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the game that just keeps on giving, the game that just keeps on growing and expanding. I'm pretty sure I told you guys, do not expect a Mario Kart 9 or Mario Kart 8 Crossroads Bone Thugs and Harmony Edition, Lazy Bone driving around on the track. No. I told you guys that was not going to happen, and of course it didn't happen. But what did happen, I think, was pretty shocking to a lot of people. You know, over 40 courses from previous Mario Kart games are going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch version of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe via a paid DLC, or if you're a Nintendo Switch Online member who has the premium tier, the expansion pack tier, this is actually included. Now, the more interesting of the two things to take away from this is the fact that a lot of people seem to think that this DLC pretty much signals that the Nintendo Switch isn't getting a hardware revision, because this DLC is something that's definitely very spread out. It'll continue until the end of 2023. So we're talking nearly 2 years of new content. Well, I guess new content from previous games for Mario Kart in terms of this DLC. So a lot of people feel like this is Nintendo saying, well, hey, you know, we're not revising the hardware anytime soon, because of the fact that, yes, you know, this is going to continue for at least 2 years. Don't expect anything new in terms of Nintendo Switch hardware. And I can understand that mindset. I can understand where people are coming from with that, but I don't necessarily agree with it, because I think people are still envisioning something with the new Nintendo Switch hardware being like, you know, a full-on, you know, generational leap or something like that, when first and foremost we're seeing the diminishing returns of generational leaps, like the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5. Yeah, you're getting things like ray tracing and higher frame rates and things of that nature, but really you're getting the same sort of experiences. That's why there's been so many cross-generation games that Sony is indeed doing themselves, with games like Horizon and GT7 and God of War Ragnarok. Like, all these games are cross-platform, available on the PlayStation 4, because right now there's a diminishing law of returns on this new generational hardware. And I just don't understand why people think this has to do with the Nintendo Switch hardware, because to me, and something that we've been saying, you know, for quite a while now on the channel, is I don't think you're going to see a full-on successor. I think you're going to see something more along the lines of just incremental upgrades, because we're getting to the point of where it's like there is no point. All we want really on the Nintendo Switch are better frame rates, better resolutions, and just a little bit more so that stronger games can come to the platform. If these games are coming to the PlayStation 4 still, I mean, obviously, you know, there's still a lot of life left in that technology. So we don't need something completely crazy. Plus, at the end of the day, it's Nintendo, and they're not concerned with the power war, especially when you start to factor in things like DLSS, artificial upscaling, that does things via the artificial intelligence that you don't even need the additional power for. So while I think this DLC is very interesting, a lot of people seem to think that this is bad news for new Nintendo Switch hardware. I don't think so. I don't think these two things correlate in any way, shape, or form. I think the correlation to make is, you know, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's sold over 40 billion copies of it. So why would you? Why would you release a sequel to that when there's still so much life left in it? But I do think that, you know, if we get upgraded hardware, it's not like it wouldn't work on it anyways, you know? I mean, obviously the system is going to play the same Nintendo Switch games, I would imagine. So I don't know. It's been a weird debate that I've seen online. A lot of people feel like this is bad news for new Switch hardware, but I don't necessarily see it that way, because I think the next Nintendo Switch isn't going to be a huge generational leap. I think it's going to be a refresh of the current system with some additional power and, of course, the DLSS stuff to artificially upscale these games. But let me know what you think in the comments section down below. And finally, the Nintendo Switch and Xbox relationship has been very interesting this console generation. Of course, there's been things like cross-platform play with the games that sort of force Sony's hand to allow them to include things like that. We've seen Microsoft games come to the platform of the Nintendo Switch. We, of course, see Microsoft IPs coming to the Nintendo Switch with things like Banjo-Kazooie in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Of course, Banjo-Kazooie is now owned by Microsoft, and that game just came out on the N64 Online. But people have been wanting a little bit more. People have been wanting something a little bit bigger to happen with this. And I've always felt that it's Nintendo that is the one that's saying, hey, you know, chill out a little bit, Microsoft, you're coming on too strong. Because I honestly feel like Microsoft will put anything on the Nintendo Switch from their catalog of games because they just want money. And obviously games sell on the Nintendo Switch. If you know, make a decent version of the game, there's a lot of money to be made in that category. Well, it looks like the Xbox and Nintendo Switch relationship is going to get even more interesting, because now it looks like this Activision Blizzard purchase by Xbox is actually going to positively impact the Nintendo Switch, because I mean, it kind of should. One thing that we've noticed about Activision Blizzard is when it comes to games coming to the Nintendo Switch, it's usually not like the newest and latest and greatest. Things like compilations do come, but as far as, you know, the game that sells best for Activision, Call of Duty. We have not seen a Call of Duty game come to the Switch, and I've always thought it was kind of weird. I've always felt like, you know, your heavy hitter titles, your Call of Duties, your Maddens, they probably should come to the system because you have a whole untapped marketplace to access with this of over 100 million systems sold, where it seems like Microsoft now is going to be pushing Activision to put the game on the Nintendo Switch. So in a recent interview with CNBC, Microsoft President Brad Smith outlined some brief plans for the Call of Duty series going forward. And he basically said that we'd like to bring it to Nintendo devices. We'd like to bring the other popular titles that Activision Blizzard has and ensure that they continue to be available on the PlayStation and that they become available on Nintendo. So obviously there's a lot of things to unpack with that, because obviously one of the main things about this purchase was the fact that Call of Duty sells ridiculously well on PlayStation platforms. Year after year, it's always one of the best, if not the best selling games. So to sort of minimize that market by making it a Microsoft exclusive on the Xbox and Xbox ecosystems of systems was going to be a very interesting decision. And at least it looks like for now, that's not going to happen. They're going to continue to put the Call of Duty series on the PlayStation instead of just being an Xbox exclusive, which I don't know, man. If I'm spending, $70 billion, like, I'm going to get as much as I can out of it. But I guess if you look at it from the business side of things, they want to make money on this. And what's the best way to make money, especially if you're not hell-bent on people playing on the Xbox brand, you're more interested in people playing the Xbox branded games than to keep it multi-platform. So I think time will tell with that. It's definitely something to keep an eye on, though. But bringing these games to the Nintendo Switch is something that I think we've all been wondering, like, why are Activision games not readily available on the Switch? Yes, they eventually come with games like Crash 4 and Tony Hawk, but you never get the Call of Duties or anything like that. And I'm not sitting here saying Call of Duty games are fun or they're still like really good, but I enjoy a mindless first-person shooter sometimes. And the Nintendo Switch really gives you something that the PlayStation and the Xbox don't. And you're sitting there thinking, oh, well, he's talking about, it's portable, so you can play Call of Duty wherever you go. Not necessarily. I'm talking about the noobs. All right, I'm talking about the little kids who just buy the Switch because of Mario, or buy it because of Mario Kart or Animal Crossing. Now we're potentially opening up Call of Duty to them, which means I go online and I destroy these little kids. I go on, a 20 kill streak like it's nothing because little shithead Johnny, who's 8, doesn't know how to hold the controller right, and I'm just beasting him, and I like that. Okay, I like that. I am a sick individual to the point of where I want to destroy you. I don't want a competitive game. I don't want it to where it's like, oh, look, it's coming down to the wire. Who's going to win this? Oh, it's so tense. No, I want to be beating you from the start and beat you all the way to the end of the game. Destroy you, make you question yourself as to why you play this game online. And I feel like if Call of Duty comes to the Switch, I have that opportunity now. I'm not looking for the best players. I'm looking for the worst players because those are the ones I want to destroy. But yeah, went off on a tangent there. It looks like Call of Duty could be potentially coming to the Switch, but will you be interested in it? Let me know in the comments down below. Alrighty guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to let me know what you think of everything in the comments section down below. And as always, thanks for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like and share the video. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.